Welcome to our lovely future humans, our 5D collective. And wait for it, if you're exploring not only self-led emotional growth, but also uncertainty and human potential in a way of growth, you have landed in the right spot. So, human potential, I have been thinking about that, what it is and what it isn't, and inspiring it, of course. But in the meantime, in case you are curious as a person who does reflection, if you use it, self-reflection and writing, those types of journal prompts, day practices, and you're new, okay, you know they're not to fix you, because we don't need fixing. The people who have nervous system sovereignty, that's the self-led community, they know how to relate to their lived experience from the ventral energy. And so with reflection, with writing, and with mindset practices, we go from uncertainty, unknowns, to steadiness again and again and again. And that's where open-ended inquiry, no goal, this is what allows you, some people will say forces, but in our case it allows us to develop not only strength, courage, we really move into that which is called curiosity again and again. And so sages, enlightened ones, for I'm a 5D mystic, and the 5D frequency one, all of us, it's not a race or competition, it's just the lovers. The love has healthy fear, so you don't actually fix yourself with writing the journal prompts, with daily practices, the mindset stuff, and with your lifestyle choices, good healthy habits. You pursue that which is your personal and spiritual growth, and you deepen the relationship with you. So before we begin the episode, if you like guided reflection practices, they are available to you, self-paced, on IHP's PayHip for purchase. Now, I'm still creating the bundles, and there's a couple that haven't been created just yet, but that's for later. In the meantime, also spread the word. Let any of those who you do know are self-led and nervous system sovereign gather around, either here at YouTube, TikTok, or just the PayHip stop the shop store. I confused the T and the H. Okay, so human potential, as I was talking about in our short, it is definitely something that I love to talk about, but there's plenty who don't know what it is and the way that I'm going to present it to you. So give me a minute as I read from my notes. Human potential is not something we unlock by trying to do anything harder or by thinking positively. Although our equanimous neutral tone makes people think we're positive alone, they don't know that we know what negative and positive are. And because we're smart asses, because that's what calm-centered, equanimous, spiritual people are, we're not bypassers. The bypassers are the somatic bypassers, who are also spiritual bypassers, and it's hard to keep a relationship. No, it's not. They also have this thing they ruined by making it into a trending topic. That which is sacred, the twin flame thing, yes. So every empowered divine feminine has her own empowered divine masculine, and then when she does come into relationships with all of those which will be in their oversoul, mystic here, they won't have questions. I talk personally to God all the time, Jesus, Holy Spirit consistently with me, the Holy Trinity, and then Buddha and I have some shit going on because I make fun of him because he sat under a tree, but I know what his lovely yoga is for. So with that being said, human potential, it isn't something we unlock by trying harder. It isn't something that we unlock by thinking positively or negatively. It isn't something that we unlock by trying to fix ourselves into a better version. Even though I'm a healthy perfectionist, so my A game is a consistent expansion of me. So you're going to be here because you get to be yourself. And that's what inspiring human potential is all about. We also leave a legacy behind for the teenagers, the actual ones. I will call grown-ups who are losers teenagers too. And I still do this day do not enjoy to be around any of those who are lacking emotional sovereignty. Because my panic attacks and because I have immediate awareness of them. But Dr. Daniel Siegel did give me a good suggestion, and I'm taking it, Dr. Dan, even though I'm pretty sure you don't watch my content. But I do. I know about my PDP framework and my stuff, and I know how to keep wholeness. So self-led people, we don't actually have any questions of biologically rude brothers and sisters. They are just as perfect as us. However, if they choose not to learn love, they don't learn how to navigate their animal nervous system. We're all animals, part of the kingdom. The ones who keep thinking that that's like an insult. I don't even know where that comes from. But integrated brains aren't going to spend time with mediocre people. Oh, and yes, the Enneagram is part of the PDP framework, but it's not true that perfectionists have an issue with anger, because I don't have an image to uphold, since my image is what you're seeing. As I get older, you'll see me get wrinkled, and there'll be pictures of me when I was young and all that other stuff. That's my image. Other than that, I don't have an image. I curse. In fact, that reminds me, I have to answer an email, an important one. So we are authentically transparent. We also don't think that anyone has to curse or not curse, so we don't try to make any kind of, those teenagers with their little blanket statements like, oh. So yeah, they make things into special groups. But I get it. They're all there to support each other, to be different. And then they all, the sheep. Sorry, I can't help this feeling deep inside of me. God knows I have to make fun of them at least a little bit, because, they make fun of us, the clowns. And there's shamans for the clowns. And it's not about man, no, but the masculine, the father, yes, the left, the ego, when they have no owner. Well, I'm just going to let you know, mine has an owner, and it's not a delusional idiot. That's why I don't actually fall for my imagination. And when I'm channeling and downloading, that's exactly why I don't call anyone names, because I don't have a judgmental asshole, and I don't have a delusional idiot. What I got is... forget about you. That's what I am. I'm an eternal child. So the left brain, fascinated child. The right brain, I'm not an indulgent parent though, because my parent taught me how to have manners with all, and that all of my emotions, anger included, are okay. So I don't have a right. I will get angry, I will get sad, I will get afraid, and I will get happy and surprised and disgusted. And when I get afraid, I still get very frightened. That's why my panic attacks, I know all about them. And nope, yelling at me isn't going to make me less afraid. Nope, at that point, I have no sense. Talk to me whatsoever. But luckily, I'm grounded in my prefrontal, and I have learned very well, thanks to me being a restored embodiment and doing those self-reflective practices, and then learning, my left learned all about panic attacks from a bunch of smart people, how I don't do dorsal vagal shutdown, and I'm actively online. So you do know your window of tolerance, and as it expands to window welcome, especially if you're mystic and a channeler, you don't sound like a little teenager who says, if someone had went through what I went through, they would have died. The one moment I told a good, empowered woman of mine, she's not mine. I was like, I don't want anybody to go through any of this shit. Did you see how many weak ones there are out there? Because they were like, but they can learn. Well, nope, not all of them learn. I've actually seen a lot of them create that which is called groupies and not learn shit. And they continue to be in identity-triggered groupies with audiences that watch them. They also use labels. I'm healing, how do you try with them? And then they continue calling my brothers and sisters monsters that are not there. They continue to use jackass words like lack of imagination for you, and I think you lack education completely, no matter how many certificates you may have. And pseudo-intellectuals, I'm pseudoscience. Then, diagnoses and labels and blames, blame, shame, fault, revenge. So you meet all those who are charged with likes and dislikes, and you think, okay, so people seeking emotional outsourcing or validation loops. That's right, I forgot. Every body is different. And trauma is not a story of something that happened to us in the past. Trauma is the imprint that all experiences leave on your, the soul doesn't get tainted, but I get what he's saying. And your body as your sensations, Bessel van der Kolk. Like he points out, you don't talk sense to people, and like my facade friend showed me, you don't. They talk over you, which is why masculines, it's not about it being a man or a father or a moron. No, it is a moron. It's just a delusional idiot who doesn't think they're a moron, and then they go ahead and find a group. And with their dead end, like the flat earthers, they create a bridge to each other's, we have the same mindset. Yes, you didn't cross the threshold, but hey, let's not tell you that you are continuing to contribute to Anima Mundi. So the energy sphere can't get fucked with. When people are afraid that like someone can break the energy sphere, it's like, dude, dark matter, dark energy. This is spiritual bypassers. They think there's a bad team. There's no bad team. They're the lefties without the righties. So when it's a power couple, it's because it's a body that's owned by the person. It's an embodied brain. It's not separate. But I don't know how many of you are educated or not, but I'm educated. And when you see shamans who are for clowns, you're like, wow, yeah, That's where it's at. It's the left alone, not the father. It's not gender. It's actively bringing to my explanation. Okay, so empowered feminine here. That's why I don't wear a mask. It's Maria. I have my own empowered masculine. And when it's stupid, I like logic too much. She can be judgmental. Yeah, that's why I work with her. I work with my right. And I work with the body. And so with that, we're all star babies, please. So I love all my brothers and sisters unconditionally. Oh, I do know some people think that the underworld is a real deal. I'm going to tell you, sure, okay. In your imagination, if you have cracked lines and you don't know how to get to your true self again. So the seed doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, they don't learn how to self-regulate if they don't have a home that teaches them good manners. See what I'm saying? So cheap shots. Yeah, I don't do that. I do that. It's very sad. Those who are broken, they can be fixed, but they don't want therapy. They typically hang out with the wrong crowd until maybe they get to figure out we're all little stars. And so once again, empowered feminines, that's why we love all unconditionally, but we don't hang out. No, we hang out with everyone. A jackass is always going to be a jackass. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's why, judgmental asshole, thank you, God. And so, with that being said, I have no issue with human beings who have a low frequency. I do not enjoy their energy. I do not enjoy their speakage. I do not enjoy any of it, but I do laugh about it a lot. And now that I'm taught about a lot of things, I'm pretty sure I can explain it like a 5-year-old. And like I said, if you are doing self-led reflective practices, you're going to be back here. But if you're not in the way of actually doing it it's easy to smile and laugh because equanimity, that's why. You get curious after you've met enough douchebags who are cowards. You see what I'm saying? When I see that there are people who are older than me who still don't know how to maintain steadiness with uncertainty, I think of Nelson Mandela's quote. Everyone says it's impossible until it's done. Some of us are self-led. Some of us are securely attached. Some of us, yeah, sure, peer pressure, know all about it. Didn't fall for it too much. The only little bit I did, I said, it's okay. We all make mistakes. And other than that, nope, not perfect, but I do make conscious choices. And the smirk, it's because when people think that a person who is authentic and transparent is a person who's trying to say, I'm better than you, that's not what any one of us is going to be saying. It's going to be, I'm comfortable in my own skin. That's all. If you can't handle it, I'm not going to apologize for it. No, I will, maybe. Because my mother taught me manners and you're a weak one and I feel really sad for you. Wow, decent enough. 3 years. 3 years. He's got a wife and a daughter. This is one human being out of so many. So I'm just going to say there's no monster behind the weak ones. If they want to stay within their drama frequency, may they do so. In the meantime, there's no cutting of anything. Oh, I see the groupies out there. Some people are complaining about the different Reiki groups. It's like they're like the flat earthers. They need a team to hang out with. They like to be different. Remember high school? We're all different. Are you? You seem like you're all the same, but it's okay. We're all different. So it's always going to be a fun time. Humanity. Yes, so human potential, as I was trying to say, we unlock not by trying harder, not by thinking positively or negatively, not by fixing ourselves into any kind of better version. I'm still the 3-year-old version of me, but I'm a 46-year-old version of me who just lets you know whenever they come up, they're not being hidden. So I am still working with my ventral vagal stuff. It's fun. As I hear tones and tunes, now I can hear myself a little bit better. And then I compare to stuff that I watch that is good shit, not bad shit. I'm like, okay, there's my 11-year-old. Oh, look, there's my 3. Okay, I'm picking it up. I'm learning how to do my own frequency. Woo, this is fun. That's who's going to be back here. Woo, pseudoscience. But I know that if you're going to be back, you know what I'm talking about. Neuroscience, neurobiology. Or even if you don't know, it's okay. Because you're probably like, yeah, okay, she's saying something of interesting. This is how it works. When I talk to people, are like, yeah, my gut's saying I understand, and that's also clairvoyance or something like that. Clairaudience, clairsentience, I forget, but there's all those words. Yes, spiritual gifts, clairs, neuroscience, neurobiologists, physicists, they all talk about it. It's all the same. None of it is different. Then again, no. When they talk about us, if you go and look at it, not with a microscope like your head out, no, not like that, from far away. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, that makes sense. That's what I get to do here with the human, spiritual, and spirituality elements and sciences. But that's why I'm pseudoscience. Remember, I'm just not pseudo-intellectual. Because I'm not trying to tell you there's one way for you to be yourself. No, The one way is that you own the sense of self because you own your nervous system. You do self-regulation skills, then you do personal and spiritual growth. And that's why writing, reflection, and above all, what was it? Hold on, lived experience. You don't think, oh, why my twin flame? They're all amazing. They're all awful. It's so happy I got attachment trauma educated and that I can let you know this is sad. What they did to the oversoul, it's disgraceful if you ask a spiritual one. But it's understandable if you ask a logical human being who has explained what we are motivated by. The PDP framework, Dr. Daniel Siegel gave me it's to a T, spot on, because it involves the 3 subcortical areas of our embodied brain. So when I got a hold of this, I was like, yep, that's Maria. When I got a hold of this, I was very irritated. This is not me. This is not me. You're using a story. This is not me. What are you talking about? Because this is the moment of you're trying to make me like everybody else. And as I'm getting irritated, I'm like, okay, I need somebody who's neutral to read this shit because every word that's coming out of the mouth of these people is irritating the fuck out of me. And I was very much like, yeah, stop giving me a little box. That's how feminines work, by the way. We don't like the little labels. We use words creatively, which is why the left brainers think we make no sense. But then when they're embodying left and right, we begin to tango and stuff like that. So once we begin to understand, which is why I ask neutral parties, I say, please read this. I know it has valuable insights. I'm just irritated by it. So every time I'm reading it, I'm probably not reading it right. Could you use language that doesn't trigger me, please? And while we're not triggered like the other ones are in their delusional fantasies, we all still have charges. So I know when charges are coming up. That's a self-aware, self-reflective, accountable regulating. So you don't say, I'm right. You say, this is good, but this is better. And that's because it's based on my subcortical areas, which I am made of. My inner skeleton. And so invincible only when you have nervous system sovereignty. So you own neuroception. You don't have helpless, hopeless, victim, default mode network. You have downregulated default mode network. This is working insula, embodied brain. You have introception, extraception, and you know when someone's being a groupie, there's not a network, a group of people who are doing the right. This is a person who I thought was going to be amazing, and then they went and did this. There's not a field for what I do. Yes, there is a field. There's an entire field. There's a bunch of them. You're making it sound like your group is doing something amazing and that there's no word for what you're doing. Well, I know all the words. And then you said, what? What? No more science? No more research? Excuse me, are you trying to dumb down the human species? Because this is what it sounds like to a logical brain who also says, look, spiritual doesn't need to be proven. Oh, we got it. But what you're saying right now, that's very not nice because there are some people out there who don't believe any of this shit. So you're excluding a group of our brothers and sisters from being able to have help by me. So that's what happens when you got a 3-year-old in the room. It's like, you can't do that. And that's why people say, you can't do that. Well, we all can do. This is the song that doesn't, and we have fun. There's an eternal child. See, are you still here? We got to find out. We're going to find out if you're still here. I know that when I am following any of my lovely YouTubers, whether I'm making fun of them or not, I will watch all the way to the end. So I'm not concerned too much with the whole 1 second and the whole 10 seconds. It's like, well, if they have that short of an attention span, they probably are using escapist mindset. Destructive mindset is that. Maybe they're doing, cynic mindset, and they're not healthy perfectionists. So the mindset is definitely hard work to keep a relationship. I saw this human being do that. I'm like, yeah, no. Mine are, look, this is what you got. I mean, hey, if you don't like it, I can always walk out. I can shake your hand. I'll thank you. Rejection is not protection. Anyone think that it's weird that human beings who are grown up don't know how to handle rejection? Because I was like, what the fuck? Oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm attachment trauma educated. The subcortical area bonding. That's right. They must be motivated by needing to be welcomed by others or certainty. That's right. They must want to be able to connect to people because otherwise they'll be afraid of being all alone with the bear. Yeah, it's definitely not self-agency because that would have looked very different. So I'm definitely aware of those who do love to inspire human potential. This space right here, it allows for any of you that understand when we're unfolding as people, it's because we're able to relate to our inner experience especially uncertainty, our emotion and not knowing, and our bonding. And so when you get rejected, of course it's upsetting. But when you're different, it's also understandable. So you can always tango with people because that's how it works. You don't actually get into splinters or ruptures. And the only person in my whole life that I ever said, I'm not talking to you ever again, and I did talk to him, was my facade friend. And after 5 years, I went to prick him out of the shithole. No, he reached out to me. And I did the right thing because God taught me. And as a mystic, I knew what was going on. My mother also taught me. So I have a number of variables. And when someone says, you did it because you feel good. Well, yes, because my conscience is clear. I did the right thing. Help a person who has no friends in the moment that the rug was fucking ripped right beneath their feet in a way that I had told them, this is not a relationship for you. And so do you think once he came around, I said, I told you so? No, because actually prior to this event, it was 3 years after I had stopped talking to them that I'm getting written. I'm at a funeral. Are you happy now? About what? She's cheating on me. I don't get happy for people's misery, so I don't know why you're telling me this. And we're not friends, as you know. I'm not talking to you. And I'm at a funeral, so I have better things to do with my... No, I didn't say it that way. But long story short, I didn't block him. I just answered him. And that was him being passive-aggressive. You think he said, I'm so sorry, friend of mine, who gave me good advice. No, it was, are you happy now? Which is the most absurd sentence that comes out of people who want to tell me they know what friends are. That's what friends are for good times, bad times. So whenever someone's talking to me and they're grown up and they're like, God, they betrayed me. They did it. I'm like, what the fuck? How old are you? How many years does it take for you to remember or no, realize we're imperfect, we're flawed? Oh, I'm sorry. That takes practice to be a person who has humility. Yeah, you know what? I'm not. So this is how an empowered feminine, again, it's not gender. It's if you got 2 hands and 2 feet, you understand how humanity works. You don't treat people like little pieces of shit. There's one moment in my life that I was actively going, and I did an episode on this. My thought was, I don't want to do this thing. I don't want to check my email. I was actively going to leave it because I already knew if I'm getting this, there's a reason for it. And I remembered in 2, 3, 4 instances, I've actively requested help in a way that I'm just going to leave it alone. And in that moment, I was like, this is downloads, or you can talk about it, because God, for sure, for me, was like, okay, that's not, no, Maria. And I was like, yes, I know what the right thing is to do, and that is why you do it. And you don't dress anybody up with the whole monster stuff. Anyone who wants to tell me someone is deemed unlovable, I will say no, everyone's lovable, and you're just a mean person. And anyone says, you're not grounded in reality. No, I am grounded in reality, actually, because I'm in flesh and so are you. And science explains how an embodied brain works, so I'm grounded in reality. There's lack of education for the word evil, and I'm doing it this way because they talked to me about evil like it was some monster in my good Christian Catholic catechist. And as I got older, I'm like, there ain't no monster, there's humans. I'm not sickened by them. I see they are very much delusional. They very much need all therapy, the ones who are. And oh, look, who's patting their back. Hey, Diego's family from Ice Age. What's up? Oh, you're doing great. Are you backstabbing each other? Are you ghosting and doing all the name calling? What's up? How you having fun 4D3D? Because that's the whole point. They call each other names. They cast these little stones. They use their little labels. Oh, look, there's some groupies out there. Oh my God, let me copy you. No, I'm a grown woman who sees still teenagers being morons, and I'm like, I need to leave this room right now. So in the meantime, at IHP Inspiring Human Potential, I plan on leaving a legacy behind for those who want to know what an A gamer is. It's a healthy perfectionist. A B gamer will be always a B gamer, but you better bet they ain't monsters, and they came from somewhere. And it isn't because they can't actively change. They can, but their body is unsafe. Humans are unsafe. Guess what they do with kindness? They test it. Because they don't believe love is real. No, because their body cringes in fear due to the fact that they didn't get it. When people don't like the explanation of how an embodied brain works, so you lack the capacity to calm yourself like I can. Remember, it's not about your likes and dislikes, and to hear what comes out of the mouth of a person and put your narrative to the side of that which you're judging, judgmental asshole. I can be an asshole. Anyone can be an asshole. The truth is very clear for those who remain clear in the way they can hear. So when someone is doing, I don't want the explanation, and I personally can know that in relationships that can happen to me. And that's because I'm dealing with people. So, like with my facade friend, only man I never talked to for 5 years, didn't block him. Okay, so then shit hits the fan. I know what the right thing is to do, like I did in all the other equations. And as he says, because I sat him down and talked to him, I don't know how you do this. I said, do what? Be a friend? So when I see grown ass human beings, doesn't matter if it's an ex in a relationship, a friend, whatever, words don't mean anything because of this. Because if you can't forgive, then you must be oblivious to the fact that we can all make mistakes. And when I met teenagers and grown human beings who said they're unworthy of love, no, that's not nice. Again, I come with God. I'm of spirit. But you know who humbles ones of spirit? Scientists like Peter Levine, who had me crying after every class with him, and Bezel Vanderkolk, and all my smart attachment trauma educators, Sue Martin, lovely Somatopia. And I'm not laughing in a way of making fun. It's wow, these people are amazing. They have humility to the front and behind of them. Guess who doesn't? I'm healer. How dare you tell me that? I am enlightened. Are you now? Who are you again? Are you dressing up? Because I don't see any capacity for you to understand who your brothers and sisters are. So when you get taught by good Christian Catholic catechists how not to play God, and you see the ones who want to play God don't need science, yeah, we know that much. Why are you being so mean? Oh, I'm sorry, because of the left brainers who want to continue saying books exist. That's the only way you can do things. Books exist. Shakespeare spoke English or whatever way back when. Do you understand Shakespeare? Because I know I don't. So when someone wants to stay stuck in time and they continue to choose to use theology or whatever books as proof, it's like, okay, proof is that we have an explanation for self, decentralizing, embodied brain, and anybody who doesn't want that can continue to be a pseudo-intellectual, ignorant human being and a spiritual bypasser. Because until proven otherwise, God's creations are perfect if they get home to their true self. If they don't want, they don't have to. They can be morons somewhere, but please stop using the name Lucifer, because I'm pretty sure if he were ever anywhere near real, he'd be crying behind in a little corner right now, because he'd see all his weak ones doing the very thing weak ones do. They actually, weaken themselves. Because that's the whole point. A bully never wins. No one who begins to become an asshole will ever win anything. And those who are actually backstabbers will always weaken themselves. And guess who are the smart ones who are able to see what's happening and are able to say, okay, well, sustainability and emotionally, there they are. Here we go. Okay. Sifting through all that bullshit over there. So that's how it works. You're not afraid of morons because you can tell. Oh, you can get irritated. I'm still irritated by them. So yeah, I get to explore emotional self-leadership, and then I get to try and calm myself when I'm making fun of cowards who continue to irritate me because they like to think that they know everything, and then they insult that which is God's children. I take up a stand for all children because I'm still a 3-year-old. And if you live in suspicion, always thinking everyone is out to get you, you will only do very small things in life. Trust is very important. Thank you, Sadhguru. If you think you're big, you become small. If you know you are nothing, you become immense. That is the beauty of being human. Yes, so when you know that every person wants to be welcomed, and then you understand how this works, humanly speaking, you don't insult people. You also don't give them a green pass. And so as I was saying, when you understand kindness gets tested, love gets tested, neutrality to people who don't have trust in humanity, they think you're hiding a sword behind your back. When an emotionally intelligent person is in front of anyone and gets information, they're like, a true warrior is not one who's dumb. Those who are dumb are actively cogs that get used by those who are using them. Guess what I know about the ones who get used? Facade friend. Shit hits the fan, comes back around, friends again. I learned how not to handle insecure people, meaning cut them out of my life, because he taught me just what he was, like anybody else who's insecure. And yeah, it feels good to not actually be a shitty human being and a shitty friend, because also if I say we're friends, then that means I've committed. So it is not an image. It's upholding that which is called integrity, also not being petty, because why would I be petty? I can state my healthy boundaries anytime I want. And that's where it's not, I'm healing, and it's not, I need to cut them out. Oh my God, I'm so tired. No, I do get tired of bullshit, but that's only because it's annoying to hear that people think they know shit and they don't. And they're just using stories. And I'm like, oh my God. Because by the way, I'm able to perceive their insecurities. So I'm like in a room with a clown But I've learned how to handle clowns. So my facade friend is one of them. 3 years down the line, what happens? In his group of friends, now he's a badass. That's exactly where I find the cowards all the time. I don't feel very happy when I see people like that. Just got used to it. He's now stating he doesn't believe in anything God, mystic, spiritual. I'm like, what? I have 3 twin flames at that point. I'm going through a bunch of stuff. I'm downloading, I'm channeling, I'm a Reiki master, I'm an Akashic record reader, and he didn't once in all of those years as we're conversing say, I don't believe in any of it. I'm infuriated because the one thing I told him the 2 days we sat down to talk, I said, all I'm asking you is to be yourself. I never asked you to be anything else. So when you have people who are always suspicious minds, what kind of a friend are you? You're not in a relationship with anyone. You still doubt people. You have gotten broken somewhere. Go have fun with teenagers. And so when I meet grown human beings who are codependent, martyrs, superiors, blamers, now I know they can all go get healed. And if they don't want to, they're going to stay in their drama queen, drama king, and have clowns and have fun. And I've seen how they go and flock to the cauldron of a person who's the shaman for the unseen. It's hilarious. As you get older, you don't think, oh my God. You just think, well, and God reminds me not to make fun of them. So do the scientist because it's not nice. But to be saluted, remind me that they don't think they've done anything wrong. At least you looked at me. So immature people will never apologize. They will never actually do the right thing. Never say never. I'm so sorry. You're right. Never say never. In the meantime, when you spot the morons out there, you just know it's going to be okay because there's not only morons. Humanity has a bunch of intelligent ones. And those are the ones who we know we can count on because they're equanimous, discerning, and loving like God is. So they know good always wins. The ones who have lame-ass excuses for continuing to be cowards are the same ones who irritate me. Thank you, God, for reminding me, and that I'm still learning how not to be the judgmental asshole that I was and that I still am. Oh, look, you're doing the same shit that all the other men are doing. I said to my facade friends, so what are you going to do? Because you're all cowards. No, we're clowns. No, use the right word. Coward. That's what you're doing right now. At least he had the balls to admit it. And then he did the cowardly thing, and that's it. But he did learn. I learned that love is not about what I wanted. I learned that love is about, people who love you. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. But you gave up on yourself. I didn't tell him that. He gave up on himself, on his entrepreneurial dreams. He gave up on getting the life he wanted because he settled. But he's happy. Oh, and there's other soul age groups. By the way, you don't have to move into the sage enlightenment soul age group, but that's where the self-led people are at. Because that's the point of why the sages, the enlightened ones, spiritual or not, are like, wow, so yeah, we got a bunch of shit going on. Okay, how many groups can we get together today? Most of them, the groupies can hang out over here. Those will hang out and we'll continue to settle things very appropriately because we'll be able to spot their Achilles heel because that's how it works. I know the Achilles heel of anyone if I calm myself enough instead of getting all excited when I meet new people and then I wait for it to happen. For them to unravel and for me to understand, do I got a 5D person or a 3D, 4D? And they won't know any different. So we do growth without bypassing. We do not force it and we do not outsource our authority. So we stay sovereign. Conscious engagement. There isn't a challenge that someone hasn't met that is like, okay, well, inner steadiness, here we come. So you do that through real experiences. 1 douchebag, 2 douchebags, 3 there you go. And you won't find quick fixes here, that's for sure. Or motivational pressure. No, it won't be, let me pat you in the back. Alan, do it. You don't have to do it, okay? It's called, thanks Nelson Mandela, everyone says it's impossible until it's done. Some of us are amazingly happy with curiosity. We do not need strength or courage anymore because we got over it a long time ago. My teenage boyfriend, he let me see all the coward of anyone and everything, and I still love him, and her. And her, she's a badass. So when someone's like, oh, you want to stay friends with them? Don't you want to drag her down the street? Oh, and yes, I'm in the polyamory community. No, we're not whores. No, we're not sluts. And no, we don't have to all be polyamory or monoamory, by the way. And what's up with this love thing? Does nobody know how to be emotionally empowered to understand what your value is? Because there's no one like you. Like, no one like you. So if you actively think, I'm replaceable. No, you're not. No one looks like you. There's your image right there. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. Do you see what I'm saying? Healthy fear is there's only one of me and I have a twin. But you better bet we're different personality patterns and temperament. Yeah. So when I see people thinking, you let him get away. Who? My dog? I didn't have a dog. I didn't realize a man would be a dog. There's no leash. Nope, nope, no chain. Yep. Oh, I'm actually welcoming of every single bit of happiness, which is why I'm not stingy. I also don't have mistrust because that's the whole point, to open relationships. And I like my polyfidelity vessel, by the way, because seriously, oh, it's so funny when people are actually still looking to not. I'm sorry, I'm sidetracked right now. I have people that like to chime in when they're not living the experience of those of us who do live it. But then you hear, I mean, totally enough. That's not nice. So we will find very different perspectives here at IHP, and that's thanks to you being able to be all of you and also not be picky with words. Self growth, emotional resilience, deeper relationship with yourself and with that which is others, as well as the human process. You know, the one thing spiritual bypassers are always doing is, we're divinity, we're creator, we're not humans, we're here to live that. You're here to live the experience in your embodied human flesh, and you have a name, and the soul is the same, and you have a spirit. So, like, identifying and creating an entire image that disregards the fact that you are made of flesh and that you are human tells me you think, yucky human. Well, I'm so sorry. That is the species you are. And by the way, we pick up on each other's nervous system. Your inner skeleton, your embodied brain is not just bones. You got a nervous system going on. So when I'm near people, that's again why I know how to differentiate. Thank you, Dr. Dan Siegel. And so a person isn't going to be an energy vampire, dark aura, or any of that bullshit word that people want to use. It'll be, I got a 5D or I got a 3D, 4D. Emotion mature, self-aware, self-led, or not. And if it's not, it's an emotion immature person who I will tend to and cater to. Because by the time I see their 5 hands, I know I got an immature one. I'm going to leave it alone. None of my business. They can do whatever they want with their life. They won't be back here because they're not a lover yet. They don't love themselves first. And when someone says again, why do you want to be friends? Yes, she is great. She went after what she wanted. The coward is him. He doesn't actually change my mind about anything. And like all the other cowards, they give up on themselves. But I get it because, you know, life, uncertainty, maintaining steadiness after steadiness after steadiness. Apparently, you know, it starts even earlier than I thought. There's a 26-year-old I answered recently, and then there's another, and then another. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of people that really don't know how to inspire their own human potential. But wait a minute. Thanks, Bezel van der Kolk. They are feeling helpless and hopeless. Thanks to all the scientists who explain that the way that you're going to force yourself to develop strength, courage, and curiosity is by using open-ended inquiry, self-reflective practices led by yourself with neutrality, not positive, not negative. Oh, look, I want to believe it's about what is right, not what feels right. You're all feels with the feelings, first of all, and let's not taint anyone with that which is good or bad. So you sit with whatever's coming up while feeling whatever you're feeling, and even if it's unbearable. So the part about uncertainty, unknown, unexpected, unwanted, I'm very lucky. I will not say I'm not. When people are like, oh, you have an easy life. Yes, I do. At the same time, I know what emotional depth is, and when someone says, if they would have went through what I went through, they wouldn't have made it out alive. I know that if people went through what spiritual enlightened ones would go through, they can make it out if they choose to use their inner growth mindset, their ability to hug themselves, use that which is called, if they need good therapy, spot the red flags and go and, you know, continue to be grounded in reality. And just remember, hasn't anybody ever said, you've never walked one day in my shoes, I've never walked one day in your shoes? But I'm so sorry. Yes, emotions are easy for me. I'm a woman after all. Don't you know how overreactive I can get? And I can be a whiner, and I can be a pain in the ass, and I can be so many more things, you know? Hey. So, you know where the stories are at for anybody who wants to, you know, come up with why humanity sucks or their life sucks or whatever sucks. And it's not as straightforward, but it is. Now that we all know about trauma and attachment, so the ones who will get their A game on will all be very excited to bring forth the depth of themselves. The ones who won't, like my facade friend, will be same as Pinocchio's island. And so we get to spot them. And actually, commercials make it very clear who they're made by. I saw a commercial. It was like, wow, that was really bad. Everybody else in the room was like, what the heck? And they ended with this little bit of, here, Jesus can help you. And it was like, wow, that didn't even make it anywhere. Like, now we're all just deflated. It was deflate. Everyone looked at each other like, this is horrible. What is this? And I was like, I mean, that person's perspective of life. And I mean, I got what they're doing, but wow, that was I don't know who's going to want whatever you offered. So, yeah. Anyways, at the end of the day, thanks for stopping by. If growth and expansion resonate with you, remember, they don't require agreement. They simply require self reflective honesty. So, being objective, we all make mistakes. We all can be the asshole of someone. We all can try to make the world a better place. And it is through equanimity, because that's where discernment comes from. And that's where love comes from. And that's where objectivity comes from. So, you don't dress up likes and dislikes with a good or bad like a little kid. Little kids learn about the likes and dislikes distortedly based on ignorant households that are also just as distorted. So the one thing that anybody who is in our 5D collective is going to make clear to all of those out there, humans are not sick. Humans can be emotionally immature, and yeah, their brain was fucked with, which is why they can go and get embodied therapy with somatic experiencing. If they don't believe in it, well, there you go. They're going to follow the ones who tell them that they have all the answers that they were looking for. And guess who's confused about what their health is? Guess who actually will go to the cave with the cat and they have a broken wing? Ding, 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 ding. Women, gather round. Remember, after they fuck you, what? 1 minute short. And I'm still waiting because I have no fucking idea what's going to come out of the mouth of this human being who's followed by millions, thought to be someone who actually helps people grow. And I'm like, sure you do. I can tell you're unhealed from every word that comes out of your mouth. So is the man that I've also made fun of, and so are a bunch of more people, because I'm like, yeah, there's a teenager version of them. Wedding bells. No, a study does find that people who randomly fuck are looking to get married, both men and women, because every human wants one securely attached figure. However, as ignorant men will have let me know at the teenage years of mine, I'm now trash because, I fucked you. And in fact, one of my girlfriends, I'll never forget, she's like, yeah, I didn't tell you that your boyfriend cheated on you because I remember with my boyfriend, all the girls were jealous of us, the couple. So they made up this town, this thing, and this is town that then I'm listening, that I fucked all the boys in town. And he believed it and broke up with me. I said, he didn't talk to you about it? Yeah, so when people are supporting shit like that, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't give a shit. You didn't talk to me. I don't want you back. Yeah, I don't care that all the town. Keep talking. That's how it works when you're like, yeah, I didn't do it. I don't want to. I'm not going to be, that's where it's at. I'm going to leave this alone. I know my PDP analysis stuff, so I don't care about bonding, and I don't care about people who are morons, and I don't care about hearsay. So if you don't have the facts, meaning you don't have proof, hearsay means nothing to me. And this is where with the teenage boyfriend, I remember people were saying things to me, but others weren't. And at the end of the day, I wasn't planning on breaking a relationship because of hearsay. Because at the end of the day, also, what are cowards? Liars, always the same. So it's not like lies don't come forth. I don't have to put in any effort to see who you are, because sooner or later, if you are actually a clown, you're going to fall on your fucking ass because you're going to be an inconsistent human being. I'm going to spot it, notice it, present it to you. You're not going to do anything about it except for either validate your assholishness or not, and there you go. So it's very easy to spot those who don't know how to handle life, and that's always with the same MO. That's really uninteresting. So when you see grown-ups who don't know how to handle their emotions, you leave them alone because they didn't choose integrity, or they got fucked with in ways that have them doubt neutrality and kindness and love, and then they began a story for themselves. Am I alone? Whatever story it is, there's your spiritual bypassers and somatic bypassers, which is why when someone wants to tell me humanity is sick, no, humanity is evolving, expanding, moving forward. Yeah, we have problems on Earth. We know this. Why are people watching horrible, shitty movies and complaining about humans? So it's very obvious to me how you spend your 24 hours tells me what frequency you're in and also how tired you are. If you're needing to escape, I get it, because you can't handle what's happening, but you don't actually generalize and tell me that all of human beings are shit, because I'm a human and there's plenty who are not. And really, that's a low frequency, and really, that's not even proactive, productive. So really, just go watch movies and be quiet and stay away. This is how I would want to put it. Okay, so the destructive mindset, they won't consider it destructive in the meantime. Thanks, whatever the name is of the lady who calls out the destructive mindset of people. People who want to stay in their stories, like my facade friend will. People who don't, won't. And welcome aboard to Inspiring Human Potential. It is about us not being perfect, but it is about us, from God's perspective to science, being able to do that which is navigate our ventral vagal state, bring our personality and our wholeness forward, and not have chips on our shoulders, because we can laugh with our left and right together. Understand that not everyone wants to get to know themselves, because restorative embodiment can only happen once they have gotten to therapy with a good therapist and began to work with dysregulation and then modulation, and that's a whole long process. And if they fall back on their maladaptive patterns of behavior, we will be there to help lift them up. I'll be here for Kylie if she ever needs someone to stand up for her. She's a narcissist who's healing. I'll stand up with her and her sociopath boyfriend, who get hate mail by ignorant human beings. I won't stand behind the person who says, narcissists aren't healable, look, my colleagues are against me. I'm going to make fun of that one and be like, oh, look, there's a pseudo intellectual. Well, look, you're groupies. Are you all doing great? As you pat each other in the back and do what? Remind yourself of the horrible stories you went through, versus no, let's hang out with emotionally mature people. Yes, not all narcissists will heal. We don't have to hold a grudge against them for the entirety of our lives, because see, that's the whole part. Cain and Abel, anyone? So when people want to use ancient stories, I think, well, insecure people hold grudges. Like when I tell you my story with my facade friend, people who don't know how it works think, oh, but you talk about these things, so they must still affect you. If there's no charge, no, but you can't prove that, which is why you can't prove what you're feeling in your nervous system. And you stress, I know the difference. But the ones who don't, they're in distress. So it's always said to be impossible until it's made possible. Thank you, Nelson Mandela. But it doesn't matter what words come out of my mouth. A lived experience is experience from my body. Those who will hear it and will resonate with this will be living it themselves, and they will be back for more. Those who think of emotions as hard will think they have none, will think a bunch of things, but basically they will be irritated. And that's where I don't laugh because of it being good or bad. I don't need protection. God protects from who? I don't have a challenger that I need protection from. I have that which is called a bunch of people who are visibly falling for bullshit because they still don't understand how they work. And they're enemies of each other and themselves. And then the ones of us who see it are like, yep, embodied intelligence and emotionally resilient human beings are here doing this. Okay, let's get together and continue to build a world while whatever happens to these groups, because, isolation is their actual MO, and we need to work with our laws and systems and countries and all of that which exists. So let's stay grounded in reality. Like Sam Harris points out, we all have different cherishable beliefs. They can all be falsifiable, but what we do know is that science proves, thanks Patrick McNamara, how our lovely brain works. So with that being said, thanks for stopping by. Let your friends know about a 5D Mystic Woo Woo Lady, and about the PayHip store, and about Spotify. There's subscription-based model content as well, and much more to come. And in the meantime, thanks for stopping by.